Hi Capricorn, welcome to your December 2020 General Tarot reading. It's Raina here. So, what is going to happen? Let us see what the cards say. I swear, I just got that for Sag, and that was the first one, and I shuffled these and some things come up anyway. Oh, wow. And I was just going to say, we have this, when the sun goes into your sign, we have your solar return. That's when we have that alignment of Jupiter and Saturn. And I was thinking to myself, well, that's a pretty, that's a pretty like, historical or whatever you would call it, special event. Jupiter and Saturn are going to be so close together. I think they said it hasn't been that close since, was it the 1200s or the 1400s, centuries ago. And then, the solstice as well on the same day. But we have, out of the 6 cards, 3 are major arcana cards. I just saw something in the corner there. That's the ashes of my incense. But anyway, so the major arcana cards just mean that perhaps a lot of important stuff is happening in this time frame. The heart of the matter is the 4 of Wands, which can be a card of marriage or home, maybe a new home, and all of that kind of stuff that goes along with it. And so moving house or marriage itself. I'm trying to think. Oh, yes. I didn't, it's funny because in December, astrologically, there's going to be a full moon in Cancer on the 29th. And that's going to be in your marriage house. So that could bring something to a head. And that maybe the Tower card. Something comes out. Maybe the people are suppressing it. The 2 individuals are kind of not dealing with a problem, or a secret comes out. But, I'll get to the Tower when I get there. But I just want to say that I look at the Tower more and more as releasing the pressure cooker. I don't even know if I said that. The pressure cooker. So, I mean, if you have been suppressing something with a partner, it's possible that you just let it all out, and that actually helps the situation. So it's not to suggest that, you're going to break up with somebody because there's a full moon in your 7th house. Some of you won't even experience it in your 7th house anyway. But just that sense of release, or, which is kind of like a form of surrender, but sometimes just like beyond your control in a way, And in the past position, we have the 5 of Wands. And, for some of you, this is actually going to fall in your your 6th house, which is the workplace. So both of these scenarios can work with the full moon, because it can really bring out all of the conflict that is going on, the jockeying for position, the ego conflicts, the competition, the competitive tendencies. And that can be like something that is affecting your marriage. So if this is a workplace tension, stress, you're bringing it home. Or if this is related to your primary relationship, that you're just fighting all the time, or you're competitive with one another. But there are more than 2 hands in this. So it's possible that it's even problems with in-laws, problems with a friend, that is poisoning the well, that is telling your partner, kind of being a bad influence on your partner, tempting them to spend time away from home, more than they should, or something like that. So it can be any of those kinds of things. And that can impact the happy home that the Four of Wands represents. The higher message is the Justice card. Now, for some people, this is like, hey, you need to dissolve this union. I mean, just being blunt about it. For other people, it can be this sense of fairness, fair play. Is there something going on where you are giving more than the other person? Now, I'm not talking about finances or anything like that. Although that might play into things if there is some kind of situation where the other party is not, living up to what it means to be an equal partner. But this could simply be that you seem to care more, that you seem to want to do things with that other person more, and maybe they're pulling back. We have here a card that, it could be you or the other person, Knight of Pentacles. Perhaps this is their sign. This card connects to Taurus. Taurus is, but this is going to be in the challenge position. So this person may actually be the opposite. In the upright position, this is somebody with a strong work ethic who is sometimes not very inspired as a person. They're kind of like a basic type of person. Maybe they just enjoy that routine of working and earning money. And this type of person sometimes is unappreciated because the other person has this expectation of like this romantic, individual, and they feel disappointed or what have you. But this might be a very dedicated person, but this is in the challenge position. So I'm reading it kind of like opposite that. I will say that sometimes it might indicate somebody who is like a workaholic, or maybe this is you, and doesn't have time for, it isn't investing enough time in the home life. So it's affecting the marriage or affecting the family life. But also this can be read as someone who is irresponsible, who doesn't work, and they may be like acting in an immature way because they're expecting you to kind of be almost like their parent. And this is something that Capricorn represents the father. So it can be like you are the authority figure and they are this disobedient child who is, fiscally irresponsible, not working, underemployed, lazy. I don't like to use the word lazy because usually this is that the person isn't into what they're doing, but it doesn't mean that they're not able to do things in other areas. But I'm talking about somebody who is not pulling their weight in the relationship. And because it's a knight, it's showing that immaturity. So they may be very immature compared to you, and you realize this after the fact. And it may be very hard for you to accept the fact that you're with this person now, but you know that you're fighting, you know that you're not getting along. But for whatever reason, maybe you want, if you have children together, you don't want them to grow up with divorced parents, so you're just kind of hanging in there. What's coming in is represented by the Empress card. Now, this is the Earth Mother. This is connected to Taurus as well. But this is a major arcana card. This is the Mother, and this is also the card of abundance and creativity. And to me, it almost is like a if we were playing poker with tarot cards, it would, kind of like win over the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Like, you are being their mother. You are not being, it's like you have another child. If you have children already, that you're taking care of this other child, and you realize that, and you come to that realization. That's what a full moon in the 7th house can bring as well. This kind of a aha moment where you gain clarity in an area where perhaps you had some sort of confusion or maybe denial. And if you have children and you do not want them to see this kind of negative environment, if you're fighting with your partner, then that you may do it for your children, even above and beyond yourself. It also suggests that you have money so that you don't need that person to support you or anything like that. Now, if this is a work-related situation, then I would also say that the Knight of Pentacles may be that you're too much in that rut of, working to just earn money. And it's kind of on that first chakra level of just survival and really just being on automatic. And perhaps you are an artist. The Empress card is connected to arts because it's connected to the planet Venus. And I realized not too long ago that I am very much somebody who champions artists, because creative people have a hard time getting that sort of support from the mainstream society. So I guess I have to be the one to encourage people who consider themselves more of creative types, but they have found themselves in what we call straight jobs. Just to pay bills, for instance, to develop that side of yourself, because it's showing itself the inharmonious nature of what you are trying to fit yourself into. This, being a square peg, trying to fit yourself into this situation isn't working, and especially for Capricorn, because you do tend to value the traditional routes or path, or whatever you want to call it. And it really takes a lot for a Capricorn sun sign person to say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to become an artist or something like that, because you typically are wanting to, rise in your station in life. And artists aren't really, unless they become famous, they kind of are, it's to me, it's like a spiritual path, and it's almost like being the hermit or what have you, because a lot of that time where you're creating is not in front of other people. So it takes a special person to do something like that. And the outcome is the Tower card, and this is an explosive moment. This can be a moment of release. Now, if you are in a job that is unpleasant to you because there's a lot of conflict, you may be released from the job. Obviously, please don't worry about this if this is your worst nightmare, because this is just a YouTube tarot reading, and you can read the Tower in many, many ways. But I'm using that as an example because a lot of times, if a person gets laid off and you talk to that person afterwards, I bet you 9 times out of 10, that person was already unhappy in their situation. They may not have been unhappy enough to leave, and it was done for them, but it was something that they were already having misgivings or problems, conflicts within the job. And actually, now that I think about it, because of the fact that this is for December, I'm actually recording this 5 days before a lunar eclipse in Gemini, that is your 6th house of work. And so that could be that Tower card, because a lunar eclipse has the power of 3 new moons, full moons. So that might be this kind of a very sudden change to your work situation. And even for some of you, this may affect your love life. This could be like falling in love, what do they call it, at first sight, love at first sight, because it depends on what degree your Capricorn sun or rising is in. And I really usually intend these readings for the sun sign, but you know, it works out. So anyway, Capricorn, I hope that you enjoyed this. If you would like a private reading, if you want to look at some of the astrological themes for 2021, have your chart read, I have all my readings on sale through mid-December, so please check me out at the link below. Thanks for watching. Bye.